Welcome back to the weekly news Roundup. And today we have just, this isn't like Sillyville, it's more Terrorville, but unfortunately it's just the way we're going. But we're going to talk about killer lawnmowers and hacked baby monitors. So, you know, that's kind of a fun thing, right? We all love it when the Russian hackers, Amazon customer service, is looking at your babies while they sleep, you know. But what could be worse than that? Well, maybe if your IoT powered lawnmower turns on the camera so it can watch itself run you over. Yes, all of that happened this week as well, because we have not bought in to any lessons yet about nonsense IoT devices that don't need to be IoT. Let's go ahead and have a look. Yarbo responds to robot flaws that could mow down their owners. That's right. Mow them down. Mow them down. My watch is telling me to relax. Come on, watch. Come on. I'm doing fine here. I'm not raving and raving like a lunatic yet. Raving and ranting, I meant. All right, anyway. A researcher found Yarbo yard robots came with a host of vulnerabilities, which, among others, allowed an attacker, to harvest Wi-Fi passwords. Oh, it's just your Wi-Fi. I mean, Google Street Map cards were doing that years ago. Remember that? But he says it was made worse. He basically reprogrammed his lawnmower to run him over, which was curious. The same hard-coded root password was put on every one of these. The remote tunnels were left open, allowing him just like the I don't even know if this is the same company. Just like those robot vacuums a couple weeks ago, the guy wanted to get in there and control one with his PlayStation controller. Yeah, he was able to get into one of them, and now he had access to all of them in the world that were on the internet. Yeah. Not only that, but he was able to get the telemetry stuff, gaining information about your yard, what the thing can see. Oh, and also it was enabled him to bypass the emergency shutoff. So somebody could shut this lawnmower off with the emergency shutoff, and the hacker could just bypass the emergency shutoff, turn the thing back on, and turn on the cameras to live stream the lawnmower running you over, like, I don't know, Misery style. Wasn't that a Misery cop kill in there? He just like hit him with a lawnmower, or did he run him over? I think in the movie they hit him with the lawnmower. I think in the book they ran him over. Do I have that right? Who's read Misery lately? It's been a long time for me. I haven't seen the movie in years either. I think I read the book like 40 years ago, 30 years ago. I read the book 30 years ago. No, 35 years ago. Anyway, an attacker could pull GPS coordinates, email addresses, Wi-Fi passwords, turn cameras into a remote spying tool, and even rearm the mower after someone hit the emergency stop. So a heavy mower with remotely controlled blades and an emergency stop that can be bypassed is a real-world safety hazard. You think? Exposed telemetry meant attackers could map where the devices were, see who owned them, and in some reports, even view camera feeds. And network abuse through shared root credentials meant compromised robots can scan local networks, steal more data, or be fooled into a botnet. That's all we need. The botnet of robo-mowers mowing everyone down. Who's going to write the horror? Maybe I should do a short story on that one. That sounds good. We need to get back into our short story series. There was a reason I took a break. But anyway, Yarbo, at least they came out and said, yep, we did it all. We confess. Like, yeah. It's refreshingly blunt in admitting that the researchers' core findings were accurate. Yes, it's accurate. You can bypass our emergency controls, turn the mower on after the emergency stop, and watch yourself run yourself over. Ah, wonderful. I'm not as refreshed as the security researchers, to be perfectly honest. That's all I need, is to be taking a nice walk some morning and some crazy dystopian lawnmower tries to run me over while I'm too busy listening to something on my headset. Jeez. All right. They have promised structural changes, unique per device credentials. Router companies started doing that about 20 years ago. Over-the-air credential rotation. All right. Audited allow list-based remote diagnostics. How about the ability to turn that off? There you go. Dedicated security contact with a possible bug bounty to follow. All right. Well, you better pay the bug bounty, or else I'm going to turn your lawnmower on you. Yarbo was explicitly chosen to keep the remote access tunnel, although wrapped in better control logs. instead of offering users the ability to remove or fully opt out. So no, you cannot turn off the ability to let the lawnmower send a bunch of data about how many people it has mowed down back to the company. So, the company does now have a path to completely spy on everything you're doing, completely see what you're doing, or control your lawnmower. Let's suppose it's not hacked. It's just a rogue employee in the company. Hey, let's just get in there. It's a boring day today. Let me go in there and just start messing with people by turning their lawnmowers on and chasing them around the yard. There's Fido over there. It's not very comforting that these robotic lawnmowers can be bypassed by hackers. But, warm, fuzzy feelings no more, I guess, right? Well, if that's not enough, over 1 million baby monitors and security cameras exposed through, I think it's Mirai flaws. So this is a company that white labels these devices. So you go into Amazon, basically look at this device. If you're buying anything on Amazon that looks remotely like this, it's probably the white label Mary, and it is basically they're completely insecure. They're used for baby monitors and doorbell cameras and a bunch of other things. So, you can see the cameras, you can see the displays, you can see what those look like. So the flaws expose baby monitor images, camera activity, and device data across more than 1 million connected devices. And since these are all white labeled, sold under a dozen different brands, probably called Zhenzubi and Zhangjianding and blah, 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 whatever else on Amazon, all this white label Chinese crap, then it's really hard to pin down exactly what you need to do about this and who's vulnerable and who's not, because they're all just white labeled. So you'll have to do some diagnostics if you have something that looks remotely like that thing there. With that, let's see. What makes the story more especially frustrating? It highlights one of the hardest problems in IoT security: white boxed products and fragmented accountability. So everyone's pointing the fingers at everyone else. They're all playing the Spider-Man game there. So more than 1 million baby monitors and security cameras. So if you have any form of IoT baby monitor, get that thing off your network. It is not worth exposing your baby to some crazy psycho who's probably doing terrible things with Kleenex to the pictures of your baby. Do not put those things on the internet. All right, get something, put it out there, and allow yourself more ways. Especially like if you're home, you don't need to put that on the internet. As long as it's on your network and your phone is on your network, you can access that thing without it going onto the internet. And I know some people might put these on so they can watch their baby at home while the babysitter's watching the baby. There are ways to do that. Again, do not allow the thing to have access to the internet. Do it all local, remote, and install a local VPN on your home network, and then access your home network via a VPN. We had videos about that maybe we will update sometime in the future. But researcher Sami Alzival identified exposed backend systems, publicly accessible images, weak encryption protocols, and hard-coded credentials. Vulnerabilities affected white label IoT ecosystems used by more than 300 camera brands sold through Amazon, among most places. Some flaws allegedly allowed attackers to monitor camera activity, access stored images, and retrieve device information without authorization, and security professionals caution that the incident highlights broader IoT supply chain and third-party infrastructure risks tied to connected devices. So the technology provides the hardware, software, and cloud infrastructure used by 300 camera brands, meaning a single security flaw can expose millions of connected devices. And there are actually, there is a website that details the cameras. It basically scans the entire internet simply looking for exposed cameras on the internet, and it actually lists them all as feeds. They're used by a lot of security researchers who will monitor those looking for things that shouldn't be on the internet. But that really is something that's done. That's the problem with putting these on the internet, is you are poking a hole into your house, into a sensitive area of your house in the case of the baby monitor, and you should not be doing that. They identified 3 CVEs here. The first one has missing per device access controls, and this is in the telemetry platform. Any free Cloud Edge account could allegedly subscribe to device notifications across the platform and monitor camera activity in real time. So you can just go to that Cloud Edge, create a free account, and just change URL variables until you find a working camera feed. They can expose motion alert images stored on Alibaba Object Storage Service. God. See, I'm okay when they're like, we're going to ban all these Chinese router companies. I'm okay with that. It's all we need are exposed images on the Alibaba Object Storage Service. Wonderful. All right. And the last one here involves hard-coded cryptographic keys shared across all these different devices and applications. So just be aware, IoT devices, while they have this neat premise, oh, look at this, I can put this thing on there. And it's like, I love it when I find something. I'm out at some party or some event, I'm talking to somebody like, oh yeah, this is cool, have a look at this, did you ever see this thing here, and all this it can do, and they'll pick up their phone and they'll be sitting here doing all sorts of stuff, and like, oh yeah, I can just monitor everything from here. And you don't want to be the one that talks to me about that, because I'll start telling you what really is going on behind the scenes. And I've actually had cases where I've been talking to people about these things, and they pick up their phone at the moment and they delete the app that they just showed me with great enthusiasm. And I've done that. Actually, I've done that once last year. This last year, I was camping out in the BLM area outside of Needles, California, on the Arizona side. There's a really good spot there. OVH tent parties show up all over. I was camping out there, which is a place you can camp for free for 2 weeks. And I was chatting with a guy next to me. He's going back across the country. He's just jumping on 40 and driving down. I think he was going out past Nashville or something. And he was telling me about, Gas Buddy. I've talked about Gas Buddy all the time. And he's like, oh yeah, Gas Buddy, this is great, all this. I said, you can always just go to your phone, pull up Google Maps without even being logged in, type in gas station, filter by where you are, and you'll get the list of all of the cheapest gas stations right on. You don't need Gas Buddy. And then I went ahead and proceeded to tell him about how Gas Buddy was collecting a bunch of data, selling it to all your data brokers and your car insurance companies, all these. He picked up his phone on the spot and deleted Gas Buddy. I was like, victory. Okay. IoT stuff is dangerous, guys. You should not be using IoT stuff, especially this small, cheap, this small, cheap. If you're going to do IoT, as much as it pains me to say this, use something by like Google, who at least has good security. But I wouldn't do that either, because they can collect all your data. Security and privacy are two different things. They got no privacy, but their security is top notch. All right. And so, no, I'm not interested in signing up for your newsletter either. So anyway, you just got to be careful about that, about all the different things going on. So let me know your thoughts about all that in the comments down below.